Yeah, there was my icebreaker and everything.
There you go. You're on.
To present scores for two different schools that are now consolidated. We are Martin County Middle School. Would like to speak just a brief second on that. Amazing transition. Very difficult transition. Probably the hardest thing that I've ever done in my life. And I've told my staff that if I ever go into battle again, I want to go with those same people. I just don't want to go into that battle again. But nonetheless, they've come together amazingly. And it has been and it still is an amazing year, and we're looking forward to this upcoming year in all sorts of different ways. So before you see a slide here, and I kind of took a different approach in some ways. I just put on there our achievements, our gap, our growth, those buckets, CCR, but that's the college and the career readiness. And the reason I did this particular slide, when we look at those scores, I wanted to kind of show you really how close we really are. You may have in the first one, you see the blue is Inez, the red is Warfield. That is your achievement scores. An achievement score for Inez, 62.9, 61.2 for Warfield. So, neck and neck. And then you go down to the gap score being the very next score, and 35.1 for Inez, 40.8. They outscored there, and that's an area that they improved on. I'm going to make a point on that in just a minute as we go a little bit farther. Growth. Inez was 65.3 and Warfield Middle 56.3. So that was an area that Inez had a little bit better score in than Warfield. And then you go on to the college and career readiness, and Inez had a 39.9 and Warfield at a 49.3. One of the very first things that I told our staff when we came together was we were going to throw out the bad that Inez was doing, the bad that Warfield was doing, and we were going to bring together the good that was in both buildings, because both buildings had great things going on. And you can see that by the successes within the scores and within the things that they were doing. So we were sorting through all the data, and we were seeing that there's good. There's things that the staffs were bringing together, bringing to the table that one was doing better than the other, that they had a different approach at it, and that's kind of been a highlight of things this year. So that's a good thing for us, that we're bringing and merging all that together and improving to where those scores next year, you will see the larger growth in all of them instead of it just being one area or the other, whichever place that the strength was in. If you look at this slide here, you have, this is just kind of an overview of 2011, 2012, 2012-13. Inez Middle School, they were at the 12th percentile. We had a rough year that year, but we come up to the 40th percentile. Got a clock on it? 40th percentile. 43.7 overall score with a 52.1 overall score for last year, and very proud of that. Needs improvement to a progressing, focused school. These next ones, I just thought it was important to put in there. 123 novice in reading in 2011-2012. We reduced that to 87 novice in reading. 82 novice in math the prior year to 41 novice in math for the 2011 or 2012-2013. 55 novice in science in 2011 and 2012 to 9 novice. And those things, the apprentice, those are in your sheets, so you can see the breakdown of those scores. That group moved as well. My proficient group increased, my distinguished group increased, so that's what you want to see. You want to see that novice group being low, and you'll see that distinguished group not be as high, and those middle groups, proficient and apprentice, will be the highest on the graph. But we moved those novice and apprentice scores. Warfield Middle had a great year also. The 50th percentile, the 40th percentile. Overall score 54.3 to 52.2, and it was very minimal things in there. I mean, so don't trivialize on that today, because if you look down, and it's the reason I put that there too, needs improvement, status needs improvement. They also have reductions in their novice, and that was a 48 in novice in reading the year before to 44. And look at the math, 40 in novice in math the prior year to a 26 novice in math, and it just goes back and forth. And we've started tackling those things, and it's been great. This slide should have been flipped around. I saw that, but nonetheless, here it is anyhow. next steps, set goals for Martin County Middle School. We've already started looking into that, doing that, and our goal is to be a proficient school. That's what we're all chasing, that same dream, to be that proficient and that distinguished school. And to answer Mr. Ball's question, yes, I think it's very possible and it's very feasible. I don't think it's one of those goals that's not attainable. I think it's very attainable for our kids to reach that. We've got the cream of the crop. They're great individuals. So if you move on, can you pull that back up there for a second? Closing the achievement gap. Yeah, that was the next one. Closing the achievement gaps. That's one of those areas when you get that gap score, you're gonna increase your achievement score. You're going to increase your growth score. So it's very important, and we've already started looking into that. We're getting our data room. I actually started putting charts up today, but kind of backed up because some of them came in and had better ideas. So we're going to go with it. Celebrate all of our achievements, and we're starting with that at our parent-teacher conference. We've got some ideas about that to celebrate the achievements with those students during our parent-teacher conference on the 15th. And then the science standard, the rollout of them, and we've got a plan going on with our 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. 7th grade being that grade that's been tested on the old, but still trying to roll out these new, and the 6th and the 8th. It's a challenge, but we're working on that. Going on, program reviews. Wow, can't enough be said about that. That is one of those areas that now is taking on a big chunk of our achievement score. We have a lot of things with Carol. She's here. Miss Chaffins with our home ec teacher. We have so many things that we are talking about to get that 23% of that achievement score added in. That's a big chunk of that 100, and all kinds of things going on with that. I don't have time to tell that because they keep holding the clock up back there. CSIP, one of the challenging things about Martin County Middle School, everything's gone. We have to do an entirely new CSIP, entirely new bylaws, entirely new policies. So everything, when you do a school report card, I'm having to do one for Inez and Warfield, and think about Martin County Middle. So it has been a very, it's been a tough year, but it's been a good year. And then Pathway Day. We're working on getting a test day. I've ordered some booklets to kind of work toward that. As well, before I close, I want to give the appreciation to all of our schools, as well as to our administration. It's been an amazing year. I love the results, and also want to give God the praise because it's in Him that we have been able to do every single bit of that. It ain't possible without Him, and pardon my grammar on that, but give Him the praise in that. And you have some sheets that just give a little bit more detail on that.
Thank you all for this opportunity. Now, I'm coming to you from a little bit a different perspective in regard. We became part of accountability about 3 years ago when they took on college and career readiness. So that was very exciting to me because we knew we were doing good things, but now, we're kind of being recognized for that. I became principal at the ATC in January 2011. And the first charge from my Frankfurt supervisor was, we want you to develop a collaborative relationship with the district, with the high school. So that was first and foremost. And on my very first day as principal, Dr. Fletcher came over and he sat down with me, and for about 45 minutes, we did exactly that. And I appreciate him for all the efforts he has put forward. We have come together as one school. It is no longer the ATC and the high school, but we have worked together collaboratively. It's not the ATC kids and the high school kids, they're all our kids. I'm real proud of my teachers. They have stepped out of their comfort zone over the past couple of years with RTI. My teachers are not academic teachers. They are coming from professions. They have to have 4 years in a profession before they can be a teacher in career and technical education. They've taught math, they've taught reading, they've taught science, and I appreciate them for that. I appreciate the dedication You know, you can see Mrs. Hunt here tonight, and I have many others. Corey is a product of what we produce at the ATC. I have always said our work-based learning program is one of our strongest aspects, putting those kids out there in the real world, being able to see the relevance of the rigor that we put them through. But I do just want to mention our mission is Kentucky Tech, get technical, it pays. Our goal is to put students in high-wage, high-demand jobs. And our vision is with high expectations. You've heard that a lot tonight. I've always had that for myself. I've had it for my students, and now I have it for my staff. Drives them crazy a lot of times, but, you know, I always express that. And strong partnerships. And I do appreciate Mr. Matters as he's come on board and he sees the importance of the efforts with our stakeholders, with our community, and that's really exciting to me. But we are to actively engage all students in mastering both the academic and the technical skills that it takes to become college and career ready. My goal, and when I taught, and I know my other teachers teach the same way, we know maybe not every student is college bound, however, they will have those academic and technical skills that they need if they want to go on into a 2-year technical program, a 4-year baccalaureate program, or even higher. So we do have high expectations for our students. Okay, just Mrs. Hunt mentioned the qualifications to be career ready. They must have completed 2 credits in a career pathway and be enrolled in that 3rd credit. The pathways that we offer at the ATC include auto tech, business and office, carpentry, electricity, health sciences, and then the CTE pathways at Sheldon Clark for career readiness is culinary arts, and of course just added last year, which I was thrilled, was JROTC. Those are the pathways. That is our model that we have used, and the handout that I gave you lists the industry certification. Here you have your college ready. Your career ready actually has 2 components. I just want to point out real quick. You have your career ready academic. If students are meeting the college benchmarks in ACD, Compass, or Coyote, that's already taken care of. However, I have been testing every senior at the ATC in work keys, even if they are college ready. And let me just mention work keys. It provides students, if they pass it, with a National Career Readiness Certificate. There are industries that nationwide and statewide that use that as a screening tool for employment. So I just feel it's a great opportunity for our students. Also, we have discussed a little bit about becoming a work-ready community. That is one of the 5 components of the work-ready community. We have to have a certain percentage of our citizens in Martin County that have a National Career Readiness Certificate. So my goal would be, eventually, we try to test every senior possible, but let them know the relevance of that. Okay, to be career ready for the technical side, they must either pass the Kentucky Occupational Skills Standard Assessment or one of these industry certificates. And we have, in addition to COSA, the nurse aide, pharmacy techs, EKG techs, and then we have the Microsoft Office Specialist and the IC3 in business. We have the NCC ER, and this is all on your handout, in construction. And then last year, the ASE in auto. Now, when I taught health sciences, the students do not, if they pass COSA, they didn't have to take this other. I always tested them in both. I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket. And actually, in our Perkins, for our federal funding, the more industry certificates we have, you know, the better it counts for us in that area. We found last year, Mr. Pike, I want to brag on him just a minute. Mr. Pike, a lot of times has a large number of the GAP group. He has a very challenging group, and I don't know how much you all know about auto. However, auto, you need to be reading on about a sophomore level in college in order to do some of their manuals and everything.